Hello, ma'am. After long time live, this is Dr. Preeti. USC changed my life. Just want to solve roller coaster of emotions. Congratulations, Preeti, first of all, for joining in to the live after a very long time. And I hope to see you every Wednesday so that you can start handling your life better. And thank you so much. You're saying that the USC has changed your life for better. Now, you are solved the roller coaster of emotions. Now, understand, everything that's happening in our life is pretty much up and down like this, okay? Everything is cyclical in nature. If you see the nature, there are different seasons. There is day, there is night. There is not one particular thing that goes on a static. There will always be up and down, right? So, emotions are energy in motions, and energy will always have waves going on. So there will be sometimes high waves and there will be sometimes low waves. Just like in the sea, there are high tide and low tide. Same way, the emotions will go on, right? You need to understand that the emotions will always have its own biorhythm. And you cannot change the biorhythm, however, immediately. But what you can do is you can start responding to that biorhythm better. So if your biorhythm is at high, particularly, people feel that they're very excited, they're enthusiastic, they're inspired, they're motivated when they're on the high, and they keep, taking big actions. And when you go down, it becomes very difficult to even get out of the bed or stay inspired or feel motivated to do anything. Now you need to understand what is your biorhythm. Sometimes the biorhythm is daily, sometimes the biorhythm is after 3 days, sometimes the biorhythm is 7 days, sometimes the biorhythm is fortnightly. A lot of times you must have heard that the moon cycles of new moon and the full moon affects the emotions big time. Why? Because the full moon affects the water on the planet, and we have 70% of the water. Our emotions are chemicals, and chemicals are basically made up of water. So there's this liquid, right? So the emotions will have a direct impact as the cycle is changing. So rather than trying to control the cycle, if you can actually start responding to the cycle better, if you can start understanding what is your specific cycle, where do you feel stuck, where do you feel helpless, where do you feel powerless, why do you feel you're not able to overcome what's happening in your environment, or you're not able to deal with a situation better or a person better. So you will always observe in your life there's a cycle, there's a pattern for you to go through the roller coaster ride. So you go to identify what is your pattern, and for that there's a little work required. And what is the work? That every single day morning when you wake up, you take your pen and paper and you start writing every thought that is going in your mind, every emotion that you're feeling. And this has to be a relentless everyday work. Maybe it can be 10 minutes to 15 minutes every day. It doesn't matter. No matter how busy you are, but there should not be any kind of a gap in this activity. And you do this for 30 days, okay? 15 minutes every day. The first thing that you do is you start writing your thoughts and your emotions. And after a month, you just go through those pages to realize what are some of the patterns you're feeling. Patterns you're going through. What are the days that you feel particularly motivated and inspired, and what are the days particularly you feel uninspired? Where do you feel that, you're feeling low? And what are the triggers to feel low? Which are the people, which are the situations, what are some of the things that made you feel a certain way? And when you observe these patterns, you circle them. And then you can, after 30 days, realize that there are certain timings of the day, certain days of the week, maybe certain kind of foods or certain kind of people when you meet them, or certain kind of triggers, which like probably you start your day and you get out of the house and then you get into a train or a bus or whatever, auto or your car, and when you pass a certain place and that place reminds you of something and that triggers something. So you will observe so many patterns happening within yourself that you will be able to come up with a better backup plan to deal with the patterns that are happening in your emotions. And when you are able to respond to this patterns well, you will be able to manage them well too. When you are able to manage them well, naturally any kind of an emotion whether it's a emotion of low vibrations like sadness, anger, or whether it's an emotion of high vibration like motivation and inspiration. These all emotions are particularly coming to you to guide you to take a certain action or change your behavior or change a certain habit. Now, what happens is the moment you realize that, it becomes easier for you to take different actions. And when you take different actions, your same emotions change automatically. I know there's a lot of work into this, there's a lot of process into this, and 99% of the people do not do it. And that's the reason I always suggest people that the best investment that you will do is investing in yourself. Finding the right, teacher, a master who can teach you to manage your emotions better is always going to be a worthy investment for the long-term results in your life. So I hope, this question helped all of you. So just give a lot of love to our dearest doctor who's here and who's working on her emotions. So I really wanted to give her lots of love at this point of time. If you learned something from this question, give a lot of love.